right, so let's get started by sitting in our chairs. Make sure you're feeling stable and steady in your chair and your feet are able to touch the floor. I'm going to have you sit slightly away from the back of the chair just to make sure that the back has some room to move here. And as we were just talking about, I know for many of us, we are in a cold spell. We're starting to hopefully come out of it. But I wanted to actually do a little bit of work today that is aimed towards helping to heat up the body. But there with yoga, there's again, we're always sort of focused on creating balance. So I want us to be attentive that if you tend to run warm, you want to stay in some of the cooler breathing and work that we do and maybe move a little slower. But if you are tending towards feeling cooler, this could help to kind of help warm up the whole body. And so this is going to be a combination of some breath and some movement work. Okay. But of course, we'll always start first with a bit of a moment to center ourselves, to come into our practices. If there's any last little minute things you need to do, like turning off any technology or adjusting yourself in your seat, please do that. Let your hands rest, maybe palms up in your lap. Let your shoulders settle gently down your back. And if it feels comfortable for you, you're welcome now to close your eyes. If you find, though, that the moment you close your eyes, your mind is off, either thinking about 101 different things or descending down towards sleep, then I do encourage you to keep your eyes open a little bit and fix them on one point in front of you. Now let's together take a deep breath in through the nose and let it go out the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose and let it go out the mouth. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. Closing the mouth now and breathing through your nose as best you can. Now, of course, if you are feeling a bit congested, you're welcome to breathe through your mouth as you need. Otherwise, aiming to breathe in and out through your nose. We're coming now to a natural breath. So a breath that is very easy for you to take, that has very little resistance, if any at all. And we're just going to take a few moments here to sit and experience the natural breath. And notice here as you're breathing, where do you feel your breath moving in your body? Where do you feel yourself expand? And where do you feel yourself gently contract with your breathing? Good. Then let's take hands on the belly. Go ahead and lick your lips here. Bring a little saliva up in your mouth as best you can, and then swallow. And as you swallow, track the feeling of the swallow right on down to your belly where your hands are resting, and soften that belly. Let it get really soft, really relaxed. Then on your next inhale in, feel your belly start to expand out. Then as you exhale, gently contract your belly back in, helping to empty that breath out. Then we're going to soften that belly right away and inhale, breathing in and expanding the belly. And then gently exhaling and contracting the belly. Good. Inhaling to expand. Exhaling to contract. Okay, try to soften your throat a little bit here so the breath is able to remain quiet. So this is our typical yogic breath, the breath of our practice. We're going to add in now a component here for helping to heat the body up. Now, again, if you tend to run warm, you can stay with this breath we're practicing now, our yogic breath. The way to sort of alter this breath a little bit to create more heat is to gently restrict the back of the throat. So one of the fun ways that this breath is described is a little like the Darth Vader breath. So you know how Darth Vader has this kind of sound? So you're not looking to make that dramatic of a sound, but when you sort of try to make it and you hear that kind of like little drag on the throat, there's that little restriction you can feel in the throat. We want to sustain that restriction on the inhales and the exhales. Another great image to try is when you're sort of trying to fog up a window. You know how you go trying to fog up a window? There's a little bit of restriction. Or sometimes when we try to whisper and there's a little bit of restriction, that's what we're looking for. So it's not a really big, I don't want to hear, well, not that I can hear you, but you don't want to hear like a big drag on the breath, not a big drag, but a little bit of restriction there. So there's a little bit of sound on the breath as you breathe in, and a little bit of sound on the breath as you breathe out. So I'm not sure if my headphones can pick that up, but there's a little drag on that breath. So we call this the Ujjayi breath in yoga. And it is known as a heating breath for the body. So this could be your breath for practice. But again, if you do tend to run warm, you're welcome to do our more traditional yogic breath, the belly breath. The Ujjayi is very similar to the yogic breath. The only difference is we do have that little restriction in the throat. So you're still feeling the breath down in the belly. So throughout practice, if you find you're losing track of your breath, you find you're holding your breath, you want to return to this Ujjayi breath. Or if you're practicing the yogic breath. Very nice. Let's take hands now down onto the thighs. Stretch the arms forward so you can hold onto your kneecaps. Arms are nice and long and straight. And we're going to begin to move through our cat-cow here. And again, we're going to start nice and slow, and you're welcome to sustain a slow pace. But if you want to generate a bit more heat, we will start to speed it up. So on an inhale breath, again, Ujjayi breath, inhale, lift the chest, belly forward, arc the back gently. Then exhale, hug the belly in, round the spine, and look down towards your belly button. Inhale, come forward with the belly up with the chest and the chin. And then exhale and curl. And we're going to keep going like that, back and forth. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Good. Inhaling, exhaling. Now, if you're staying with a bit of a slower pace, maintain that Ujjayi breath if you're practicing it. If you want to join me in moving a little bit faster, we can open the mouth as you exhale and let the breath come out the mouth, releasing the restriction on the throat a little. So it's inhale through the nose, through the mouth. Back and forth. If you feel any dizziness or lightheadedness, please either slow down the movement or stop it altogether and let that dizziness or lightheadedness pass. Now to increase a little bit of that heat, now we're going to close the mouth and take those strong breaths in and out of the nose. Little faster. Really warming things up. Keep going. Three more. Last one. Round in. Sitting tall, keep that breath out. Empty, empty, empty that breath out. Sit tall, hold the breath out just for a moment. Then inhale through your nose, open the throat, big breath in, long, full breath in. Hold the breath in here. Let it really expand out into your body. Take in a little bit more breath. Good. Now gently release that breath. For maybe a breath or two, you feel your natural breath come back in. Then you reestablish the yogic breath, the deeper belly breath. And then if you were practicing that ujjayi, that subtle restriction of the throat, you could bring that in here as well. So hopefully already you're starting to feel warmer. Good. Let's let the arms now hang at the sides, turn the palms forward and come into your seated Tadasana. Taking your next inhale breath, sweep the arms out to the sides and up overhead, as high as you comfortably can. They might be down a little lower. That's okay. You just go to where you feel it is possible for you today. Good. And we're going to climb some length here out of the body. So even if the arms are a little wider, you're reaching and kind of stretching and climbing that length. So you kind of extend that right arm a little longer, kind of grab onto something imaginary, like an imaginary bar, and you're going to gently then pull down on the right arm a little as you stretch that left arm out. And then we're going to do the same with the right and then the left. And we're really starting to extend here. Good. Keep that breath full. Beautiful. On your next exhale, take the elbows wide, hug the shoulder blades together, and draw those elbows down and into the sides of your body. Inhale and expand those arms back out and up. Gently exhale, pull the elbows down and in. Good. Inhale, expanding out and up. Exhale, down and in. Nice slow movement here, but full breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. Good. Inhaling, exhaling. And you're welcome to stay with this slower motion. There's lots going on here. So especially if you do run a little bit hot or warm, you could stay with this slower motion. This is beautiful. Or join me now as we start to speed it up again, creating a bit more heat. Inhaling, strong exhale, pull the elbows down. Inhaling, reach out, exhale, pull down. Inhale, exhale. Again, you could exhale through your mouth or your nose, whichever feels most beneficial or doable for you. And you're finding kind of what is your maximum speed without creating in too much intensity. So we're not looking to like, oh, scrunch our face up and go as fast as we can, but we are looking to speed things up so we feel a little bit of effort, a little bit of heat, and we have to work a little bit to sustain the tempo. So that's going to be a different tempo probably for everybody. So find the tempo that works for you. Good. Keep it going. We're going to burn through some of that stiffness. We're going to burn through some of the stagnation or heaviness in the shoulders and the arms. And you're just reaching to where it feels okay for you. Good. You've got this. Keep going. 3 more. Last one. Now, inhale again. Reach the arms up or out as high or as long as you can. Inhale, 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 and then exhale and dive forward, resting elbows on the thighs and letting your upper body just hang or slouch forward. Take another gentle inhale breath here. Move it to the back of your body. And then exhale gently, maybe get a little heavier. Another inhale breath, breathing deeper into the back of your body. Exhale, feel yourself get a little heavier. Beautiful. Let's do one more like that. Nice. Slowly, slowly now. Bringing yourself back up to your seat, returning to your Tadasana, palms open, shoulders back. Probably feel like the arms are these heavy weights now, maybe. Yeah, but they also got some energy moving through them. So some of that heavy weightedness is actually energy in the hands and blood flow and arms that is kind of letting you know this is actually the weight of the arms. This is what it takes to move the arms every day. Yeah, they're actually kind of heavy. Good. So let's keep that breath moving. Okay, we're going to move down now into the legs. We're going to start first with moving the feet by simply pedaling the heels up and down from the floor, alternating from one side to the other, kind of waking up the feet a little bit, moving a bit in the toes and in the ankles. And again, you're finding your tempo, your rhythm. Being mindful here sometimes, especially if you've experienced injury in your ankles, you might notice kind of a ziggy zag motion with the heels as they lift up and down. Try to lift them as straight up and down as you can. Also notice if you're sort of rocking a bit from side to side here. As best you can, try to keep your upper body still and just lift your heels. This is going to require a little bit of core stability to do that. Good. All right, let's try doing the toes. Just tapping the feet from one side to the other. Tapping one foot, then the other. Good. Get a little bit more motion in the front of those ankles. Nice. Good. Now, of course, you are welcome to work just with lifting heels or toes, whatever kind of feels best for you. Or if it's available to you, try now lifting one foot, then the other. So you can go back to tapping heels or tapping toes, or try here to lift one foot, then the others. We're starting a bit of a march with the legs. And again, your tempo might be different than my tempo, and that's okay. You move at the rate that feels best for you. Again, if you are trying to heat up the body, you might go just a little faster than you typically do. But if you're trying to just sustain your temperature, you can go a little slower. Good. Nice. All right, we're going to add on here. So you could be pumping heels, you could be lifting feet, and then you could add on a lift and kick, bend and lower. These are options: lift, kick, bend and lower from side to side. These are just options though. Anywhere along that way is plenty. You could do your heels up and down. You could slide the foot forward and back on the floor. You could lift feet one at a time, and you could lift and kick and then lower. Good. And when I say kick, I'm not thinking kind of rocket sort of kicks. You probably weren't either, but I'm not thinking rocket kind of kicks. I'm thinking more of extension. So not so much a kicking action as an extension or reaching action with the foot. So it's a bit more controlled. Yeah. Good. Nice. The next time you go to lift your leg, however you're doing that, keep it lifted now. Maybe you extend that foot out. Maybe the heel's on the floor or hovering from the floor. That is fine. But we're going to keep the leg lifted here. Breathing deep, the arms might come up overhead. If that feels good for you, you might keep them at your sides. Good. We're going to sustain the hold here. This will generate heat as well. Keep the chest upright though. Try not to collapse. So one more breath here. Then we're going to gently place that right foot on the floor and fold down over both legs. Be mindful of blood pressure here. Keep your head above your heart if you need. Hands can come to the feet, shins or knees. Inhaling now, sliding the hands up the front of the body, right up overhead. And then exhale and folding down. Inhale through the nose, reach up. Exhale out the mouth or the nose, fold forward. Good. Inhaling. And again, you can breathe in through your nose if you need. Exhaling. Good. 3 more. Good. 1 more. Fold. Beautiful. Coming back up to your seat, back up to Tadasana, palms open at the sides. Again, whether you were pumping your heels, lifting your feet, or lifting and kicking, let's return back, or lifting and extending. Let's return back to the motion you were doing just a moment ago. Whatever variation for you was the one you were working on, let's do that again. Just a few times on each side. And then the next time you go to lift your left leg, keep it lifted. And again, this could be simply lifting the heel. This could be lifting the toes, could be lifting the foot, or you might extend the leg out here. And again, if you have the leg extended, the heel might be on the floor. You might have it hovering. You might lift it up more level with the hip. Wherever you are, try taking your arms up overhead, or maybe out a little wider or more in front. Find that long, full ujjayi or belly breath. Good. Keep that leg lifted if you have it lifted. You've got this. Good. Maybe try lifting the sides of the mouth, convincing yourself you're having a little bit of fun on a Monday morning. Good. One more breath like this. And then let's take that left foot down onto the floor and fold over the legs once more. Hands coming onto the feet or shins. Inhale, gliding up, right on up. Reach those arms up. Exhale, fold down. Rolling up, reaching up. Exhale, folding down. Good. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, fold forward. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Good. Last one. Very nice. Rolling back up to your seat, returning to your Tadasana. Taking some full breaths here, Ujjayi or belly breaths. Sitting tall, shoulders back, stay present here. Big breaths, so big that you can't be distracted. So full that it's all you can experience right now are these breaths. Let's get some of that oxygen moving, some of that prana moving. All right, bring the hands now around in front. You might hear interlace your fingers if that's available and press the palms forward. If not, you simply could take one wrist with the other hand and gently press the hands forward from there. And you might start to lift the arms up overhead again, being mindful that the shoulders are not trying to hug or scrunch up by the ears, but that you can keep them down a little bit away from the ears. A little tone of the belly here, which means just a little engagement of the belly muscles, not so much that you're restricting your breathing, but just a little support there in the front. And then as long as it's okay for your spine, so if you have any concerns for the back or spine, you're going to stay like this. If the spine is feeling okay, you might gently fold forward like a quarter of the way, just so you bring a bit of angle now to the spine. You're going to feel the pull of gravity on the arms. Good. Press into both feet now and really strengthen those legs. And for some of you, you might take the option, if the knees, hips, and low back feel okay, you might slide some weight off the chair and come into a low kind of squat, half squat pose here with the weight in the feet. That is an option. It's not necessary. Good. We're keeping the arms up as high as you comfortably can. Gazes forward. Breath. Good is moving. Keep that breath moving. Let's release those arms out wide to the sides. Turn the palms up. Ooh, we're going to feel the pull of gravity on those arms. Good. Keep that breath moving. If you're standing slightly, bend the knees a little bit. See if you can sit back just a little deeper. Good. We've got this. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Stay with me. Big inhales and exhales. Nothing like a chair pose to warm the body up. Good. One more breath like this. Then on your inhale, rise, press into those feet, stretch up, reach your arms up, look up, and we're going to let those heavy arms go. Let them drop. Good job. Inhale, arms up. Let them drop again. Big heavy weight. Nice. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, let it go. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. 3 more. Inhale. Last one. Good. Give those hardworking arms a good shake. Whew. Good job, arms. All right. You might give your legs a little shake too. Good. Give those legs a little shake. Getting that blood flow, not just a blood flow, but the energy of the body moving through the body, especially in these cold temperatures. Everything kind of slows down, gets a little stagnant, a little heavy. So we need to kind of move it around. And I honestly feel one of the best things you could do on a cold day is shake it out, is to just wiggle and shake everything about kind of think about Simon Says, shake it in, shake it out, get it all wiggly about. It really is one of the best things you can do is just shake the body up. Good job. All right. Coming back now to stand or sit tall. If you're standing, I'm going to suggest taking a slightly wider stance for stability. Then let's start to twist in a dynamic way. So we're going to go back and forth from side to side. If you're standing and you have concerns for your knees, let your foot pivot as you twist so it takes the twist out of the knee. From here, we're going to open the arms wide. And as you twist to the right, tap your chest with the left hand. Then coming back through center, the arms open wide. As you twist to the left, tap your chest with the right hand. And we're going to go like that from side to side. Good. Inhaling through the nose. And your choice to exhale through the mouth or the nose here. Good. So you can sit or stand. Again, finding a rhythm here that's working for you. And if you are looking to warm the body up a little bit more, I'd encourage you just to speed that rhythm up just a little bit. Doesn't have to become Mario Andretti, but just a little bit more speed. If you are feeling any dizziness or lightheadedness, please have a seat, let it pass before joining us again. Good, keep going. We're gonna clean things out with all this heat. It kind of burns up all the lethargy, burns up the stagnation, the heaviness that can come in kind of the depths of winter. Good. Keep it going. Three more, each side. Last one. Then just slow the motion down, release your arms a little bit. You might kind of rock more side to side instead of twist as you slow the motion down a little bit at a time, just gently letting yourself return back to your centered position. Come back to your Tadasana, sitting or standing tall again. We're going to hold steady here, finding again your belly breath or your ujjayi breath, that heating breath. And just breathe into all the sensations that you have going on now into the body. Big breaths in and out. Beautiful. Okay, if you're standing, take your chair now up to the top of your mat so the seat of your chair is facing you. And return back to your Tadasana facing the chair. If you're already seated, stay seated as you are with the palms forward, shoulders back, gaze straight ahead, and be really present with your breath right now. Feel each inhale and each exhale. Good. Pressing down into both feet, feel strength come back up the legs. Then as you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. As you exhale, if you're standing, bend those knees again, sit the hips back again. If you're sitting, your hands can come onto your knees. If you're standing, your hands could come down onto the seat of the chair. Good. All right, from here, we're going to again round the back as you exhale. Then as you inhale, arc the back and look up and forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, arc. Beautiful. Exhale, round. Inhale, arc. So a little bit more cat-cow. And again, you can stay in this nice, steady, slower pace, or joining me now as we slowly take our time to start to speed the motion up. Going back and forth through the motion of the spine. Using either that belly breath or that ujjayi breath. We've got this. Keep going. Again, if there's any dizziness, any lightheadedness, please take a seat. Let it pass. Well, let's do 3 more. Good. Exhale, completely round the back, round the back, round the back. Good. Then inhale, lengthen the chest forward, look forward. If you're sitting, you're still in that slight forward fold. Good. Exhale again, round the back, nice and slow. Then inhale, straight, long spine, look forward. Last time, exhale, round, nice and slow. And then inhale, look forward. Very good. All right, keep the gaze forward here as you start to walk your feet back away from the chair. This is for those who are standing, and you're gonna come into downward dog. As your heels sink, your hips will come back, then your gaze can drop towards your toes. If you're sitting in the chair, you'll come upright to sit tall. Once again, interlacing the hands and pressing the palms overhead. This is your downward facing dog. Good. Wherever you are, you're trying to make the arms as long and as straight as you can. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to move through some vinyasa here. So this is movement of asana with our breath. So on your inhale, you're going to come forward to plank pose. This is for those who are standing, heels over toes, shoulders over hips. If you're sitting, your hands will come back down onto your knees and you're going to come slightly forward in your seat, folding slightly forward. Then we'll bend elbows wherever you are. Bend your elbows, roll the shoulders back and bring the chest through, lift the gaze up, back bend. Then as you exhale, roll back and come into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take a round of breath here. We're going to do that again. So come forward to plank pose. Bend those elbows, roll the shoulders back, press the chest through, look up, back bend. As you exhale, round the spine, sliding back and returning to your downward facing dog. Yeah. Let's keep going. Inhale, come forward into plank. So if you're sitting, hands on the knees, press down, bend those elbows, roll the shoulders back. On your next inhale, lift your gaze, look up. Then exhale and round the back as you slide yourself back into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale again, plank pose. Take a breath. Next inhale, bend those elbows, roll the shoulders back, lift the gaze. Exhale, roll the hips back, downward dog. Beautiful. Inhale, forward plank. Bend those elbows, chest forward and up. Upward dog or back bend. Exhale, roll back, downward dog. I think we got 3 more in us. I think we do. Let's give it a try. Inhale, forward, plank pose. Take a breath. Good. Bend those elbows, shoulders back, chest forward, back bend. Exhale, go back to your downward facing dog. 2 more. Last 2. Stay with me. Forward to your plank. Bend the elbows, shoulders back, chest up. Good. Go back. Downward facing dog. You've done it. Last one here. Last one. Forward to plank. Bend those elbows, chest back, chest forward and chin up. Roll back. Downward dog. Good job. Big, big breaths here. Big, big breaths in your downward dog. Beautiful. If you're standing, take your right foot up towards the chair, bending your right knee to stack it on top of the right ankle. You have an option to keep your left heel on the floor or lift your left heel up so it's on top of your toes. If you're sitting, you're going to keep your right foot where it is, extend the left leg out in front of you, then take your arms up overhead. Good. If you're standing, your hands could stay on the chair, or you might bring them up onto your front thigh, or you might take them up overhead. Wherever you are, I want us to start to feel a stretching sensation from the belly upwards. So think about your sit bones going down, the belly drawing in and up as you reach up. Good. We're going to hold here. Good, you've got this. Nicely done. One more breath. Then release your hands down. If you're standing, bring them onto the chair. Step your right foot back to downward facing dog. Let's bring the left foot forward. This is for those who are standing. If you're sitting, it's your right leg now that goes long and your arms go up. If you're standing, make sure that front knee is over top of the ankle, right on top of the ankle. Your back your back heel might lift or not. And you can keep your hands on the chair or onto that front thigh or up overhead. So even if your hands are down, think about your sit bones going towards the floor and your chest coming forward to access some of that sense of stretch in the belly. Good. So really, wherever you are, draw length out of the belly space. This is going to help stimulate heat through our digestion, which is where we actually build the heat for the body. Nice. Let's release. Actually, we're going to hold arms up. Sorry, I've got one more breath here. I was a little fast on this side. Good. Then let's take the hands down and return to your downward facing dog. From your downward dog, come forward into your plank pose. Again, let's take that back bend, softly bending elbows, chest forward and through, gazes up. We're going to hold here for one more breath. Then take your exhale to round back into your downward facing dog. Inhale deeply and then exhale a big sigh. Beautiful. If you're comfortable coming onto the knees, you could come onto the floor with your knees wide, big toes to touch. Sink your hips back. Then lower your hands and your forehead to the ground into child's pose. If you would prefer to stay seated in your chair, that's great. You can take your legs wide apart, hold down between your legs, and place your elbows on your thighs or onto your ankles or your feet. If you are comfortable coming to the floor, just not okay to come onto your knees, that's fine. Bring yourself down in whatever way works for you. Come to lay onto your back and grab a hold of the shins as you hug your knees in. Find once again that long, full breath. Okay. So we're going to do some of our Brahmari breathing, but I'm going to guide it a little bit differently here. We're going to breathe into different parts of the body as we're in our child's pose. And then on the exhales, you're going to take a Brahmari breath. That's where you place your tongue at the roof of your mouth and you hum gently as you exhale. All right. As you breathe in, now think about breathing into your hips. As you exhale, Brahmari. As you breathe in now, think about breathing into your low back. Exhale, Brahmari. As you breathe into your upper abdomen. Exhale, Brahmari. As you breathe into the heart space, the upper chest. Exhale, Brahmari. As you breathe into the throat. Exhale, Brahmari. As you breathe in now, breathe into the forehead. Exhale, Brahmari. Last one now, breathe in to the crown of your head. Exhale, Brahmari. Beautiful. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Soften your jaw, your throat. If you're lying on your back, gently place your feet onto the floor, then roll onto one side and make your way up to sit on your mat. If you're on your knees, take your time to come on up, roll up and sit down onto your hips on the floor. If you're in the chair, you'll come sitting up tall in your chair with your feet on the floor just below your knees. If you're sitting on the floor, you have some options. If it feels best for you to have your legs straight, go for it. If it feels available to you to cross your legs, you can give that a try. So you want to position for your legs where they're both doing approximately the same thing. Good. All right. We're going to do some seated postures here with a little bit of extra pranayama for that heating effect, and then we'll come into our savasana. So starting here, place your hands back onto the belly, release any restriction you may have been exerting on the throat, and simply come back to your belly breath, your yogic breath. Feel with each inhale your belly expand. Feel with each exhale your belly contract. So you'll notice as you inhale, the belly expands because the breath is doing the work. As you exhale, it's your muscles that help to pull the belly back in to empty the breath out. So we're going to use that motion for our Kapalabhati breath. So the inhale now will happen naturally. You're not trying to make anything happen. The exhale is where you exert a little effort and you're going to pull the belly back into the body. And we do so quite quickly. So it's not that slow, long breathing, but it's a natural inhale and then a quick kind of pull back into the belly. And then right away, after you pull the belly in, relax it. So the breath happens, inhale. The inhale happens naturally. Then we exhale, we pull the belly back in. So a great way to kind of visualize this is to take one finger out in front of you and imagine that finger is a candle with a nice flickering flame at the top of that candle. So you soften the belly. You could have your other hand on the belly if it's helpful. And then you'll take a little bit of an inhale. Then squeeze the belly back and blow the candle out. Yeah, relax the belly. Inhale, then exhale, blow the candle out. Natural, relaxed breath. Exhale. Good. So inhales are simply letting the belly expand. So there's some good belly work here. If you feel that you found the rhythm of this breath where you're exhaling and squeezing the belly in and then relaxing the belly, you could release your hand down or place it back on your belly. Keep that breath going. Good. So try not to force the inhale breath. That's going to happen naturally. Just the exhale breath has a bit of effort. Now, if you don't feel congested at all through your nose, you could close your mouth and take that exhale breath out the nose. Keep going. When it gets a little challenging, can stay with the challenge. Keep working through it. This is how we're going to burn off some of that stagnant energy, some of that coldness. You've got this. Good. 3 more. On this last one, as you exhale, really contract the belly in, empty every last little bit of breath out. Hold the breath out just for a moment, then soften the belly, deep breath in. Right at the top, hold the breath in, maybe even sip a little bit more air in. Exhale, let it gently go. Close the eyes for a moment. Release any effort or control you have on your breath and simply feel the breath now and as it moves naturally through your body. Okay. Taking your left hand, bring your left hand now across to your right thigh or knee. Take your right hand and bring it around behind you, either onto the back of the chair or tucked in close to the back of your hips. And gently and slowly start to rotate your spine towards your right. You can keep your eyes closed if you like here. And again, the breath is going to remain natural and easy as we hold this final twist. Gently unwind your upper body. Let's come through center and go to the other side. So the right hand will come across now to the left thigh or knee. The left hand will come around behind you and you'll slowly and gently twist to your left. Keep your breath flowing openly, again, without resistance. Beautiful. Gently, slowly unwind your spine. If you're on the floor, you can take your time now to slowly lower yourself back onto your back. And we'll come into our Savasana. So if you're sitting in the chair, you can slide yourself towards the back of your chair. You might put a pillow behind your back for a little added support. If you're on the floor, you'll go to extend your legs out. Now, if you find having the legs straight out on the floor creates a bit of compression at that low back, then go ahead and bend your knees. You might put a pillow under your knees, or you might simply keep them bent and let them fall in together. Otherwise, allowing the legs to just gently flow out onto the ground. If you're in the chair, your hands can rest in your lap or maybe on a pillow in your lap. Your arms, if you're on the floor, can rest out to your sides, palms facing up, if that feels okay for you to do. If you're on the floor, really try to work those shoulder blades a bit more underneath you, then let those shoulders spread wide out onto the ground. Wherever you are, I'll encourage you now to softly close the eyes. Notice any last little bits of gripping or holding you may be exerting on the breath. Sometimes, if we have a habit of restricting the throat, then the Ujjayi breath can kind of trigger that habit. We really ensure here that you're softening your throat now. There's no need to create that drag. We're going to release the breath completely, let it flow naturally. Release the body completely, let it get heavy and sink down into the chair, onto the floor. You've all done such good work today. This is a time to rest and integrate all of that effort, all of the benefits that have come from your work. This is our time to just let them be absorbed. settling now here into a quieter space, a more still space. And I'll bring us back when it's time to close the practice. Allowing your body to continue to rest. Allow my voice to bring your attention and awareness back into your body. And just as your body is right now, without changing anything, feel its position. Feel the angle and weight of your arms and the placement and weight of your legs. Notice the direction of the spine and the angle of the head. Feel the support at the back of your body and the space in the front of your body. Feel yourself sitting or lying here in the room that you're in, without even opening the eyes and looking around, just simply expanding your awareness out from the body into the space around you. With that expanded awareness, you can now start to move a little bit into that space, allowing your fingers to curl in and out, maybe wiggling toes, maybe gently rocking the head from one side to the other, exploring movement again in the body, but as though it was brand new. For it is. This body right now is a different body than it was when we began practice. We want to stay aware and present in the body that we have now, not what was or what may be, but where we are now. If you're lying on the floor, you might bend your knees and gently roll onto your right side. And stay lying on your side for a moment or two. If you're sitting, you might let your elbows rest on your thighs and gently round forward, taking some weight in the elbows, curling in slightly. And those of you on the floor who are lying on your sides, take your time, press yourself up, come back to sit on your mat or on the floor, or back into your chair if you prefer. And if you're sitting in the chair, remove all of your props that you may have been using. Slide yourself forward in your chair and plant your feet back down onto the ground. Wherever you're sitting, however you're sitting, draw some length back up the spine, sit tall and proud. Fold the hands together into Anjali Mudra. We're going to close the practice today with the chanting of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shanti is the Sanskrit word for peace. We chant it 3 times, first as an offering to ourselves, then as an offering to our community and those around us, and the 3rd time we chant as an offering out into the world. I'm going to chant this once so you can hear what it sounds like, and then we'll chant it all together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All together now. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be peace within you, peace around you, and peace everywhere to everyone. Thank you all so much for continuing to come and to join in the practice of yoga. Namaste.
Namaste.